Cha-hae-in replied, "No, so why in the end? Why do you want to join our solo play guild?" Father Hae-in heard this name and his eyes widened. "Is this guild called Solo? I have agreed on this name with the vice president. Is there a problem?" Jin coughed and heard the boy shout, "Big brother, have you decided to name the group Solo? What about your opinion?" Jinwoo innocently replied, "I didn't see what you said. I thought you agreed." Jinwoo now thought to himself, "No, I have to calm down first. With this confusing situation, my judgment is being impaired. My heart rate, breathing, eyes, everything is very natural and doesn't seem like a lie. So why do you want to join a solo guild?" Jinwoo asked Hunter Cha-hae-in, who had been awakened for less than 2 years. Surely she was still under contract with the Hunter Association, right? She called back. "I have enough money to compensate the contract." Jinwoo was surprised that she was even willing to pay a fine for violating the contract to join her guild. He continued to say, "Our guild currently does not have enough financial resources to pay workers' salaries corresponding to your abilities." Cha-hae-in replied, "No, that's okay. You could just not pay me. It's true that when you're handsome and big, you don't need anything. Girls will love you guys. What is the reason why you want to join here? This place is completely unworthy of her class." Cha-hae-in was confused. "I don't know how to explain. Otherwise, if I explain, he will probably think I'm crazy." It was the first time she met a hunter who didn't have that smell. Since then, Cha-hae-in became curious about him. How many souls can he summon? He even ruined Min Sung's press conference. He must have received a lot of criticism. As expected, he is an S-rank hunter, and he seems to be a good person too. The war on Jeju Island is coming, but Cha-hae-in still only thinks about Jinwoo, telling herself not to worry, but no matter how hard she tries, she still only sees one color in the colorful world out there. Each line of memory returned to when Cha-hae-in had just woken up on the plane. President Go Gun-hee said that this was the return helicopter. "As soon as we arrive, we will take you to the hospital." Cha-hae-in suddenly asked him if Hunter Sung Jinwoo had come, right? He nodded in agreement. Cha-hae-in's blushing face was not a dream. "Hey, he almost died." "No, I've come back from the dead. If I can't escape the impending death, what will happen?" Returning to reality, Hunter Cha is very shy. "Could it be that you say, 'I want you to protect me until the last moment'? Even if I don't say anything, my face is as red as a smoked tomato. New girls are different, huh?" Jinwoo is still blank. What is she doing? Does she have personal reasons that cannot be expressed? Why can't she say? Thousands of questions appeared in Jinwoo's mind at this moment. "Aren't you going to tell me the truth?" Cha-hae-in is shy. "Because I want to have a comfortable life. Is that not okay?" After hearing this, the two young men began to deduce. That's not true. She must have endured a lot of hardships at the Hunter Guild to be like that. Boss, the father hunter was only 22 or 23 years old, but he had to shoulder the responsibility of an S-rank hunter. During the battle on Jeju Island, he must have been greatly attacked. If that was the reason, then our guild was actually there as a joining test. Hae-in's father replied, "What? It doesn't say that on the recruitment announcement." Jinwoo quickly replied that it was our vice president's fault. So Jin quickly went to buy some drinks and candy. He quickly replied, "Yes, yes. Cha-hae-in is serious. What is the test like?" Looking at this appearance, Jinwoo was also a bit surprised. Was she serious? Or just saying that you need to win the challenge I assigned? Cha-hae-in sighed. "To evaluate me with just such a simple test? What is the Sung Hunter challenge?" Jinwoo sternly said, "I will choose Hunter Cha, a suitable opponent." "Okay, when to start?" Jinwoo replied, "Right now. You see the location is the Hunter Guild's training room, okay?" Jinwoo thought. Thinking back, I see that the fish here are quite far away from that place. I also want to try to see if we can teleport together in shadow exchange. After thinking about it, he turned to Cha-hae-in and said, "You don't need to go there yourself. There is a very simple way, although it's a bit strange, but it's okay, right?" He hugged Cha-hae-in in his arms, exchanging shadows. It's a real lady killer. Jun-ho entered the room, but before his eyes, the two of them had disappeared, leaving only one high orcs sitting there. He snatched the plate of cake and put it all in his throat in Jin-ho's surprise. "At the Hunter Association training room right now. Here we are." Cha-hae-in gasped. "How did you do it?" Jinwoo looked at Cha-hae-in. "I know, just like I thought. The essence of the shadow exchange skill is like gates, evidenced by the ability to move through and not exit with others. The entrance created on the floor where you want to go is the exit. Of course, the coordinates you want to go to are the location of the Dark Warriors there. Even though there's a 3-hour limit, I can still create those portals with skill, even if I want to be able to go to the other side of the world. Let's get started. Father Hunter asked again. Oh well, thinking about it, I remembered I forgot my weapon. Jinwoo quipped. Is that a pickaxe? Cha-hae blushed. No, my weapon is. Jinwoo smiled. Just kidding. Cha-hae took the hunter card and entered the armory, intending to borrow something. Although the equipment is not very good, it is very suitable for practicing. She held out a long sword. I'm ready, Jinwoo replied. Is it okay? But it's not the sword she usually uses, and it doesn't fit her hand very well, right? She replied. Weapons are not very important. I think you should participate instead of watching the fight with your summoned beast. Jinwoo thought to himself. Is she serious? According to my guess, summoning 3 or 4 pieces of darkness is enough to tear me apart. Everest now appears. This summon of mine is the best at using swords. Cha-hae asked him what are the win or lose conditions. Jinwoo replied that my summon was defeated, but I will still surrender as Hunter Cha soon. Jinwoo told her that this was the strongest summoning item, but Beru was no good. It's not necessary yet, it's not too late, just do it. Cha-hae's eyes were steadfast at this moment. Jinwoo also panicked when he saw her. Wait, can you wait a moment? Oh, okay. Jinwoo summoned a sword and gave it to Igris. Now let's begin. The match began. Igris opened the match with a super powerful sword strike, causing everything it passed through to crumble. Cha-hae quickly dodged the attack. The speed is so fast, if it was a normal person, just touching it would be enough to kill. Cha-hae started to counterattack, and President Go Gun-hee in the office said something. I don't remember anyone booking a dorm room to practice today. Please call Mer.Geo. Can you help me connect the camera from the practice room to me? He replied, yes, I will do it now. The president also understood when he saw these two people. I honestly didn't expect it to be like that. Then he informed the staff to turn off all the practice room cameras for him. There were a few things that needed to be checked today. The battle caused everything in the chairman's room to fall apart. The father hunter asked Jinwoo, this black is not your strongest summon, right? Didn't you say you would summon the strongest object? Summon it. Jinwoo said that she might be injured, but Cha-hae, it was still steadfast. I really want to fight it again. Jinwoo was a bit surprised. Father Hunter also said he saw it. She also saw the video. After all, Jinwoo summoned Beru, then asked one more time. Are you sure? Jinwoo stood next to Beru and thought to himself, although the shadow soldiers will not be as strong as when they were alive, Beru's power right now is enough to kill almost any hunter. If it was a real battle, then Cha-hae's chances of winning were. Beru interrupted Jinwoo's thoughts. Noble king, what are your orders? Jinwoo turned to give it the task of subduing the father hunter, but not hurting her. Beru received the command and began to rush forward. The lights on both sides broke due to the pressure it radiated. Cha-hae stood in a surprise situation. Had Hunter Sum ever fought such a monster? Jinwoo also warned that if that girl gets hurt, you won't be able to rest in peace. Seeing that the ant seemed distracted, Cha-hae realized this was his opportunity. But unexpectedly, Beru appeared behind her. Damn, it's that type of attack again. Cha-hae angrily swung his sword back. Do you think I will get hit like last time? I thought I had caused damage to it. But unexpectedly, Beru gently blocked the attack with one hand. Beru contemplates the king's orders to take her down, but not hurt her. Just destroy the fighting spirit, show the difference in level between the two sides, and she will give up soon. Too simple. Cha-hae continuously tried to attack, but it seemed that Beru easily dodged all the attacks. Cha-hae she was a bit surprised when he didn't even bother to move and was still able to neutralize his sword skills. Beru was next to Cha-hae and then screamed, causing her to take a few steps back. Feeling the match was over, Jinwoo asked if Cha-hae was satisfied. Sweat fell from her face. Not yet, I can still continue. It's true that you're so in love with guys that there's no way to save you. Jinwoo was a bit surprised after hearing this. What was Father Hunter thinking? She's clearly not stupid enough to be above that level and still try to fight. Beru is not like other dark soldiers. Although it has intelligence, its nature it is still a bloodthirsty monster. Right now, I'm very clear that killing intent is filling his mind. If I accidentally anger him now, maybe that's not a judgment. Beru here adds Beru's final warning. Just by looking at the eyes you will know who is the prey and who is the hunter. It is unforgivable for prey to dare to fight against a predator. Its sharp iron hand was about to touch Hunter Cha. She had difficulty avoiding the attack and retreated. She activated a sword dance technique that stabbed straight into Beru's body, but the sword broke into two. Cha had thought that he could only rely on it. He only had enough magic power to use it once, but that was enough. Turns out that was Cha-hae's ultimate technique, the golden sword with a super strong beam of light that penetrated Beru's body. Jinwoo here realized that the situation seemed to have gone far. Damn, at that very moment Beru seemed to ignore the king's orders. Since birth, Beru has always obeyed the Ant Queen's orders. Once he ignores orders and fights instinctively, nothing can stop him from destroying the enemy. Beru had now lost control. Its eyes glowed. This creature is an enemy. Jinwoo angrily shouted. Stop. Then you grabbed Beru's hand. The match was over. Beru. It raised its head for a moment then retreated. Jinwoo asked concernedly about Cha-hae's condition, but she said she was fine. Beru trembled and knelt down. Noble king, please have mercy on this humble person. Jinwoo looked at its appearance and was speechless. He turned to gently ask Cha-hae why he did such an extreme thing. If it was just to join the guild, she wouldn't need to risk her life so much. Cha-hae remained silent. Jinwoo saw this and continued to say that this was just a test for a group that didn't even have a name, and it really wasn't worth risking her life like this. What is the reason why she did this? You still won't talk. Cha-hae's expression was quiet. Why is Jinwoo also sad? Is it true that you like me? Cha-hae was a bit surprised after hearing that. Why did Jinwoo know that? Jinwoo saw that she didn't say anything and thought he had guessed wrong. But surprisingly, Cha-hae admitted it. I like you. Changing scene at the U.S. Federal Hunter Headquarters. Adam sighed. I really have no face left. I didn't come here to hear an apology. Tell me what happened. Adam said that the result of Lady Selner's potential observation on Hunter Sung Jinwoo was someone worthy of the title of king. After listening, he was extremely surprised. What? Lady Selner, you mean Hunter Sung has the same strength as a national hunter? She said, let me explain. All hunters are connected and borrow power from an unknown source. I can sense the tunnel connecting that hunter to the power source on the other side. If the energy from that source is too strong, what I see on the other side will be like sunlight, a light that can overwhelm all human senses. Such people are called kings. But he said, her body trembled a bit. There was no tunnel. When I looked into Hunter Sung's eyes, the darkness in his eyes stared back at me like an evil god looking at lowly creatures. Darkness, Mr. David did not understand what it was. He continued, you mean Hunter Sung Jinwoo is evil. She quickly explained that whether good or evil or the nature of Hunter Sung Jinwoo had anything to do with this. I'm just trying to say where his strength comes from. Hunter Sung Jinwoo, he did not borrow his power from any source. His strength doesn't come from any side. Hunter Sung's strength comes from within himself. That power is not limited by any tunnel. Adam glanced suspiciously at Mrs. Selner, which meant his power had no limits. She nodded in agreement. David saw this and patted his shoulder and comforted him. Mrs. Selner, you have worked hard. Director, where are you going? He turned to look at Adam. Basement 24. Follow me. If we can't ask Lady Selner, we have to use another way to recruit him here. Do you remember the first S-Gate? Yes, sir. How could I forget it? The dungeon explosion led to the destruction of much of the western United States. America then had to call for help from the world's best hunters, but only 5 of the strongest hunters survived. America then awarded those 5 hunters the title of national hunters, which meant they had the same power as a nation in the world. The Eternal Flame, the Fire Dragon Kamish. A super monster with terrifying power, it alone is enough to kill dozens of other high-level hunters. The 2 of them went into room number 24 to make up for the tragedy at that time. Before he died, he left a gift. Adam now turned to ask, perhaps you mean? Yes. The door gradually opened and looked. The magic stone obtained from the carcass of the fire dragon Kamish had passed 8 years after the S-Gate was successfully closed. Unfortunately, there was no one among the national level hunters. Senior Monk, the magic stone has been lying in this cold basement for too long, waiting for a worthy owner, and maybe Kamish will once again bring this beautiful country another expensive gift. At Jinwoo's apartment inside the bathroom, Jinwoo looked at his own appearance and exclaimed, "Thanks to the system, he seemed to have grown taller and his body had also become even better. He looks quite handsome, to the degree that people turn their heads when walking on the street. That's what he looks like when he has a boyfriend, bro. It's thanks to the effect of the unusual effect resistance buff, right? It can heal any injured part of the body. Thanks to that, all possible disadvantages are no longer there. Hey Jinha, how do you feel about your brother?" She was still scrolling through her phone. "What, like a handsome, elegant man, for example?" Hearing this, the girl was a bit confused. "Huh, where did you get that confidence? In my eyes, you are still my bad brother." Jinwoo started rubbing Jinha's head. "Let's evaluate objectively. If you play like that, you might break your leg. Did you forget that your brother is an S-class hunter? What can you learn with a mind like this?" Jinha was angry because his achievement was top in the whole school. Jinwoo shouted, "It's just a mock exam, and I'm planning on forming a guild." She continued texting, "So from now on everyone will call you president. If there are no problems, how do you feel about the name Solo Play?" After listening to Jinha's words, "What the hell is that? Why did you name your guild like that?" Jinwoo smiled and continued asking, "Is it so strange?" Jinha replied that his second brother's ability is to summon dark soldiers, so it's not like he's fighting alone, right? "That's right, so what name should I choose?" "What about Ajin Guild?" "Self is Ah, development is Jin." Jinwoo asks again, "Why does it sound like your name is reversed?" "How?" "It's okay to listen." Over here, Chahae, it was lying on the bed, still blushing. She shouted, "Ah hi, I thought so too, I thought so too." That's no different than confessing love. If that's the case, then there's another way. It's not necessary to join my gang. Remembering what Jinwoo said right now made Chahae a little embarrassed. He will definitely think I'm a weird girl. He saved my life, so it's normal for me to care about him. That's right. Oh my god, how could that be possible? No, it's not okay at all. Chahae's face was so red that it was smoking. I was saved thanks to the healing ability of Hunter Min Byom-gu. Speaking of which, she was reminded by Hunter Min Byom-gu while she was in a coma. Tell him, be careful Hunter Sum Jinwoo. Tell him to be careful with his own strength. At that time, Chahae actually met Hunter Min Byom-gu at the Knights Guild. At this moment, a voice rang out, "Boss, the guild staff said that it is difficult for them to grant us permission to raid the gate that appeared yesterday. The measurement results show that the amount of magic waves emitted from the gate was very high." The president replied, "You mean that gate is an S-class gate?" The staff replied, "No, it is only an A-class gate, but the index they measured is close to the S-class level." What a misery. Just a little mistake is enough to cause hunters to lose their lives. The employee also replied, "If it were S-class from the beginning, we could easily ignore it. But it is an A-class gate, so things are much more complicated. If the news about the Night Order, one of the 5 great guilds in Korea, did not reach the public's hands on the Ilrang Gate." The president looked worried and sighed. "The problem is that people think that except for Gate S, A, B, C, D, E are all the same. If we ignore this gate, other guilds will immediately replace us." After hearing this, the president shouted, "You mean Ma Dong-mook, right? Do you think I will easily let him enter the gate of the Night Order's territory? It's true that this junior is really pathetic." Then they seriously analyzed it. If we compare the number and quality of our A-rank hunters, we are absolutely not inferior to any other guild. It's just that we're still missing our trump card. And S-rank hunter, the assistant comes over, we can join forces with other guilds, boss. The other guilds all wanted to solve it themselves. There was no reason for them to cooperate with other guilds. The assistant's face was full of confidence. What if it wasn't a guild? What do you think about some personal cooperation? Jong Yi-rim, a rank healer. The guild leader still had a thoughtful look on his face. This was a dungeon that was almost beyond the threshold of Gate A, so no individual had the strength. Speaking of this, he paused a bit. Jong Yi-rim's face smiled. "It seems like you remember now." "That's right, you mean Hunter Sum Jinwoo, right? If we join forces with another guild, it will get a bad reputation, but on the contrary, if we cooperate with him, we can even improve the image of the Night Order. Furthermore, with his presence, the raid team will be more protected. What is Hunter son Jinwoo doing these days? The employee immediately replied, I heard that he recently cleaned up a gate that suddenly appeared in the middle of the street, and after that there was no more news about him. Boss, let me try to find his phone number. The president's face looked a bit dissatisfied. Okay, put your phone away. How can you solve such an important matter over the phone? We will discuss in his office. Jinwoo is now at the office asking Jinho about naming Ajin for their association. Jin coughed a bit awkwardly, but still happily agreed. Any name is fine as long as it's not a solo or something. So that's the decision. The only thing left to do is choose one more founding member. How was Hunter Chahae in yesterday? He thought she was not suitable, not the person he wanted. Hearing this, Jinho was a bit surprised. Such a talented young rank hunter. The big brother couldn't bear it. Among those who registered to participate, there was no one better than Hunter Cha. After thinking about it, he continued asking, So what kind of person do you want, big brother? Jinwoo calmly replied, Someone who has a hunter certificate and doesn't need to care about the guild's activities, but needs to be trustworthy. Hearing Jin cough, it seems a bit difficult because very few people can respond like that. A knock on the door came from outside. Jinwoo opened the door. Yes, is there anything wrong? In front of us are 3 members of the Night Order. Good morning, I am Park Jong-soo, president of the Night Order. Now that they were sitting at the table to chat, Park showed Jinwoo the news that a gate near rank appeared in their management area. Normally, the size and level of the gate were not compatible, but the results from the association showed that an absurd amount of power was pouring out from this new gate. Is that an S-rank gate? The president quickly replied that we couldn't confirm with certainty, but this was the largest gate in Busan so far. Jinwoo thought to himself, if I were in Busan, it would have been a long time since I've eaten salad there. This guy fights but also thinks about food. The president continued, You must have seen the information from the news. We are actually having difficulty receiving a license from the association, because our Night Order doesn't have any S-rank hunters. From the association's standpoint, we completely understand why they are so worried. But if you cooperate with us in this raid, the association will certainly no longer have any reason not to issue license. The assistant also sincerely prayed that Jinwoo's brother could sign. The president added, We will pay the Fig Craftsman a fair reward for his efforts. Normally, a large guild attacking a dungeon would receive a rank hunter's income of 10% of the dungeon's profits. But this time we will specially give you 20%. Jinwoo gently replied, 50/50. What? The president's face looked a bit surprised. Jinwoo explained that he should think of this as a business between a guild and a guild, not with an individual. If he could do the same, I would be willing to cooperate. If you can do so, I will be willing to cooperate. Oh, by the way, I'm in the process of forming my own guild, the Ajin Guild. So what about 40/60ths? The door is behind you. If you don't agree, you can leave. This Jinwoo brother is doing well, isn't he? You are strong, you have the right. The president of the Knights Guild thought to himself. He looks so young. Then he finally agreed to the deal, but on the condition that you help us deal with the boss. Do you agree? Jinwoo agreed to that condition. The two of them shook hands to secure the gate that had been discovered for quite a long time, and the raid would have to begin tomorrow at the latest. You can come with us to prepare for tomorrow as well. Jinwoo immediately refused and promised to meet the group again tomorrow because he still had some things to deal with. I will definitely arrive on time. Yoontae realized that his president's shadow seemed to have just moved. The president heard that and replied, Yoontae, you just made a few bottles, right? Jinwoo's phone rang. Who is that? Excuse me, I'll go answer the phone for a bit and then come back. Outside, Jinwoo was listening to a phone call from his mother. Jinwoo was surprised because it seemed like she had bought the phone. She also said that she had just bought a phone and wanted to hear her son's voice right away, so she tried calling. Hearing her voice also made him warm. Then Jinwoo asked her to go to dinner together tonight. The next day, right at the array gate, everyone was now fully prepared, gathered on time, but Jinwoo still hasn't arrived. The president is worried that Jinwoo will be late. Damned, only 5 minutes left until departure. Jinwoo is still at home worrying about Jinha because he doesn't know if she brought an umbrella to school or not. After that, Jinwoo used the shadow exchange skill at Jinha's school, where 3 male students were walking in the hallway. Isn't this too exploitative of labor? Why does the art teacher make us do things that he should do? How many plaster statues do we have to move in total? It seems like there are 6 statues. Each one has to be carried in and out. It's so annoying. Carry 4 at a time for good health. But how long has it been since this place was cleaned? The scene inside the room is extremely messy. It seems to be a school warehouse. A student with a slightly serious expression stammered and said, What is this? It is a gate. The other male student smiled and said, What's so controversial? The gates that have been conquered are very safe. Even if we are not hunters, we can still enter because there is nothing in there. Maybe this gate has been open for a week now. Another male student was skeptical. But do you guys just leave it like this? But what if it wasn't discovered until now? The gate suddenly cracked from inside the hand that had grabbed the male student's head earlier. Jun Seok, the boy shouted in helplessness. Jun Seok's face was now pale. Save me, hurry up. Then the surrounding sounds suddenly fell silent, leaving only the sound of blood flowing. His head was crushed. A monster came out from inside the gate. We then saw the bodies of the 3 young men lying on the ground. Signs of lost life. There are people who are born predators. Even if their intelligence is reduced, their ability to chase and hunt is still far superior to humans. These high orcs are seething with the smell of blood and flesh. However, they are just a reconnaissance team. They are suppressing their instincts and prioritizing their mission above all else. For a week they hide in the dark. Without having to focus on finding prey, their senses are enough to sense everything. Lots of prey. Above and beyond, this place is a complex of buildings like fortresses. I will go hunting first and you call your brothers to come. After killing all the humans here and establishing a base, the hunt will officially begin. At this time, we know that these high orcs seem to be able to speak and have intelligence. They will wipe out everything starting from here. The students still do not realize the danger until someone screams. Then the monster's axe was now moving towards the couple. Switching back to the big gate, Jinwoo stood in front of the gate and saw that it was even bigger than he had imagined. This side is the collection team. The opposite direction is the mining team. The attack team consists of 13 A-rank hunters and 20 B-rank hunters. Does the Night Guild have that many A-rank hunters? As expected, the guild has the most A-level hunters in the country. When the hunters saw Jinwoo, they shouted loudly, Appa, that battle on Jeju Island was amazing. How did you summon the shadow soldiers? How many dark soldiers can you summon? You will be the one to lead the raid today, right? Miss Healer now appeared to relieve the situation. Come on, why are you making Hunter Sung feel so awkward? I am Jeong Yu Rim, the main healer for today's raid. Look at this girl. She's so cute. The others don't need it, but I think it's better for the person in charge of the raid and the main healer to understand each other. Jinwoo turned to ask, President, haven't you explained to them yet? He quickly replied, Then I will do it now. I'm Park Jong-soo. I'll be in charge of this raid. Is it you again? There's already Hunter Sung Jinwoo. How does this guy do business and everyone is so dissatisfied? The guild master continued to say that Hunter Sung Jinwoo would protect everyone from behind. Yoontae approaches. Sorry, but I don't think we are such weak hunters that we need someone to protect us. Hunter Sung, do you think our members of the Night Order are that weak? Is that so, brothers and sisters? A hunter behind him gasped at Yoontae's blasphemous words that sounded like a young man with no experience in life, and the president laughed loudly when he saw that. Ha ha. We have so many funny and kind members. Although it was a bit rude, he didn't mean anything bad. Jinwoo also understood that, so he didn't say anything more. The president called on everyone to start going inside. It's time for everyone to gather. Everyone moved forward at the Hunter Association's reporting center. A female employee received a call from a female student. The little girl is very scared right now. Her voice is sobbing as she speaks. Right now, here at my school, there are many monsters outside. Hearing this, the staff was a bit shocked. What about outside? A dungeon exploding. Where are you calling from? The girl said she was hiding in the bathroom. She was originally with her friends, but they were all gone. Do you know how many monsters there are? Are they near you? The girl panicked and said that she really didn't know. She only heard a roaring sound. So many, will you die? The staff member began to reassure the girl. The hunters were on their way there now. The hunters will never leave you alone. So you must act calmly. Do you understand? Really, can I really survive? The employee continued to ask what kind of monster appeared there. The girl said she knew she had seen them on TV. What is it called? Realizing that the girl couldn't remember her name, the employee asked her to describe her appearance. What kind of monster does it look like? Hearing that, the girl replied, they look like humans. Their faces are extremely ugly. They are green. Their skin color is green. Hearing this, the employee was extremely frightened. Could it be that they are orcs? Yes, that seems to be their name. At this time, the orcs had approached the bathroom, where the girl was hiding. It's bad. The staff told the girl to run away immediately. Hurry up, they can smell you. But it was already late. The other end of the line rang out the girl's screams. Help me. I don't want to die. Please help me. Then everything was quiet again. The school was extremely panicked at this time. The students crowded into one corner. Some quickly ran out of school. There was a girl who was worried because there were still many people inside, but the guy next to her quickly pulled her away because hunters would come to rescue them. The orcs at that time were extremely bloodthirsty. Half of their prey had run away. The other one said it was okay. There was still a lot left. The escape route is blocked. Go upstairs and kill them all. In a classroom, the male students held tables and chairs for defense, and an orc used its strength to gently break the door. The students inside screamed in panic. The orcs looked at them like small prey. A student couldn't bear it anymore and tried to run out but was hit in the head with an axe and died. The junior announced that there was a person here with magic power. He ordered the junior to deal with it first. Jinwoo and Song are also in the crowd at this time. Jinwoo silently called out, Mr. Ha, Mr. Ha. Song saw a situation like this and started to feel heroic and went out to stop the monsters. Jinwoo saw this and quickly advised him, no, I told you it wouldn't work. The high orc saw two girls. One of them pointed at Song and asked, is that human? The guy next to him replied, no, the one with even greater magic power than that guy is the guy next to him. Before anything, he rushed in and tried to slash Jinwoo, but it wasn't that easy, my friend. One of Jinwoo's high orcs blocked its attack with one hand. Then another punch kicked the high orc several meters away. Continuously, several more high orcs appeared to protect the students. Inside the dungeon, the Knights Guild along with Jinwoo were now inside fighting the monsters. The guild leader hurriedly shouted, it's two-headed ogres. Everyone be careful. The ferocious monsters marched far down the hallway, screaming nonstop. They held weapons to attack, but President Park used a move to block the attack. He shouted, Yoon Tai. Yes, he held the sword and rushed forward to open the scene. Brothers and sisters, let's move forward courageously together. When the ogres were attacked, they screamed loudly. The Knights Guild team is extremely strong. Although it doesn't have an S rank, its fighting ability is still quite good. The two wizards combined lightning and fire to roast the entire ogre. Park stood aside and exclaimed, this seems difficult. As expected, this dungeon was not easy at all. There's also a two-headed ogre right at the entrance. Do you know what the nickname of these two-headed ogres is? Gravekeeper. That's right. Usually they will be insects, but if we encounter it right at the entrance like this, it means there will definitely be undead waiting inside. Yoon Tai saw the large number and shouted, don't say bad things like that, okay? Big brother, what should we do if we encounter it? Should we just attack? The two hunters standing to one side felt something strange. The monsters just looked at them and then ran away. Normally they just watch without attacking like that. It seems like something is chasing them away, right? Jinwoo behind him was a bit disappointed. He was looking forward to it because this was a special rank dungeon. And yet, suddenly Jinwoo felt something. Jinwoo looked serious and said to President Park, I have something to do right now, so I probably have to leave here now. After listening, he was a bit confused. What are you talking about? If it weren't for Hunter Sung, we would be in danger here. You also know that well. Jinwoo sighed, but this is an emergency. However, I will call a trusted friend to help everyone. From this moment on, that friend will handle everything here for me. Everyone there seemed to be extremely surprised by something. Beru has now appeared. Isn't that the ant that appeared on Jeju Island? Jinwoo quickly replied. If everyone has already recognized it, then I certainly don't need to explain anymore. From this moment it will accompany everyone on my behalf. Then he turned to order it. Protect humans. Beru quickly asked again. What about existences other than humans? You can handle it as you please. After receiving the order, Beru shouted loudly. Yuntai saw that and was also scared. So now you say we will be in the dungeon with that creature. Okay, big brother, don't embarrass us anymore. Another group of ants was summoned. Jinwoo above replied. The soldiers will help everyone. The number of 20 is enough, right? The guild leader quickly intervened. Wait, Hunter-san, Jinwoo, you left us with this monster and just left like that. Jinwoo glanced at them with an extremely scary expression. If you want, I will immediately take back all of these shadow soldiers. Having them protect us is better than having nothing, right? After hearing this, everyone was extremely scared and replied, Oh yes, that's right. Jinwoo looked at the system for the cooldown time of shadow exchange. It was 1:42 minutes 16 seconds left. Jinwoo felt something was wrong, so he started to rush out like a god, leaving the two of the Knights Guild behind. I'm confused here and don't understand anything. He's really gone. Big brother, what should we do now? Stay here while I think. Jinwoo outside the dungeon kept accelerating. The shadow soldiers on Jinwoo's side were continuously transmitting signals to him. Jinwoo had a bad feeling. The undead were about to move in and block the way, but unfortunately they had met someone they shouldn't tease. Jinwoo shouted, Don't get in my way. But at this moment Jinwoo was a bit surprised. Probably because Jinwoo's original job was necromancer, so he could control the undead. Jinwoo summoned Kaizal. An extremely large dragon gradually appeared in space. Jinwoo rode it and rushed into the sky in everyone's amazement. Wow, look, it's Hunter-san, Jinwoo. The guy above ordered Kaizal to go to Jinha's place as quickly as possible. The high orcs here are being defeated by Jinwoo's red high orcs. The students standing to the side were extremely surprised, and a high orcs whose head was grabbed was extremely scared. It trembled and screamed in pain. How stupid are the students standing here? Is that monster saving us? Will they protect us? Jinha stood aside and asked doubtfully, Is your second brother coming? But a high orcs stopped her, then pointed outside the crack of the gate that had completely shattered. Revealing inside was a high orc sitting on a throne. Perhaps he is the king of these high orcs, he said. All seals have been released. I'm Guroktaru, chieftain of the Red Blade tribe. From now on I will kill everyone who dares to stand in my way. A soldier turned and said, Guroktaru, there are some high orcs helping humans. He wondered, High orcs? How many? 3 names. He clenched his teeth angrily. Could the warriors of the great orcs not be able to defeat 3 high orcs? Useless people. Lead the way. The hunting trip has just begun. Inside the dungeon, the ants continuously attack the undead to the surprise of the hunters. There are people who are scared and want to go out, just thinking about these monsters directing hostility towards them. The guild master here whispered to himself, The raid cannot be stopped here. If we stop here, how will we answer the press when we go outside? That's right, I had no need to stop the raid just because I was afraid of the soldiers summoning me. Let's go. But before he could see how determined he was, Beru scared him so much that he peed his pants. Let's go, sir. Beru collected the shadow soldiers inside Hunter Park's shadow and turned to leave, making him a little panicked. Yuntai approached and asked about the situation. He said he was okay. Let's go. The group was preparing to leave when they suddenly discovered the head of a Death Knight. They were all surprised because Jinwoo's soldiers were able to defeat a high-level demon beast that was unexpectedly strong in just a split second. He gently asked everyone, You probably know the price of a magic stone dropped from a high-level magical beast, right? Who else wants to go out? I thought everyone was scared like me, but who would have thought that they would have left him without even realizing it? Yuntai excitedly called out, Big brother, hurry up or you'll be left behind. Here, Jinwoo's high orc soldiers continue to fight to protect everyone. The group of green orcs were still screaming like crazy. Guroktaru, he came forward and said that orcs' tattoos were a symbol of victory. It proves the number of those who died at his hands. It seems you have killed quite a few of my brothers but have only come here. You can only entertain me. Weak high orcs, he attacked with one attack, but was stopped by a high orcs. Angry, he immediately slashed the high orc and split it into 2 pieces, but in less than 2 seconds it recovered in Guroktaru's surprise. Have they been enchanted? No matter how many times I cut you, I can still recover. I can kill you 100,000 times. But the sound of kill, kill, kill in his head was still painfully ringing. At this moment he thought, the more time passes, the more that voice annoys me. I have to end this as soon as possible. If these guys are able to operate thanks to magic spells, they only need to deal with the magic users. It's done. It's this girl. If you quickly catch it and kill it, the high orcs will no longer be able to regenerate, continue to block their movements, the attacks becoming more and more intense as time passed. The shadow soldiers were continuously defeated and revived until Jinwoo was grabbed by the Guroktaru. He squeezed her head tightly, causing her pain. Die. He suddenly released Jinwoo because he realized that an extremely scary source of magic power made him tremble. Jinwoo had arrived. I helped Jinwoo stand up. Guroktaru saw that and immediately told his subordinates to step aside. Jinwoo rode Kaizel straight into the building. Jinwoo arrived. Mr. Team came to pat her head. Now everything is fine. The magic power Jinwoo radiates is extremely scary. Guroktaru is still introducing. I'm Guroktaru, chieftain of the Red Blade. Jinwoo pointed straight at him and said, "Shut up and wait there." Seeing this, Jinwoo rushed into Jinwoo's arms and cried loudly. "Big brother." Jinwoo hugged her and reassured her, "Everything is okay. Sorry I'm late." Then he turned to ask if the students were okay, but they quickly replied yes. "What about Som?" "Ah yes." The little girl thought to herself, "He looks so scary." Seeing Jinwoo's red face, the anger in Jinwoo's heart increased even more. Jinwoo's eyes looked extremely scary as he looked at the high orcs. "Egris, I leave Jinwoo to you. Everyone else, quickly get the students out of here." The high orcs who saw this scene were also scared. "I told you not to move." Guroktaru also realized at this time that all the soldiers from before were Jinwoo's. He asked him who he was and how he could understand their language greater than. Realizing that Jinwoo had no intention of answering, he shouted, "Everyone attack him." The high orcs received the order and rushed madly, their attacks completely neutralized by Jinwoo. He grabbed the guy's hand and dragged him away in pain. Then he lifted and lowered his leg and sent him back to hell. 2 more came forward and suffered the same tragic fate. The remaining few saw this and screamed and advanced, but in Jinwoo's eyes, they were just like small ants. Jinwoo's hands were now covered in blood. He was like a grim reaper moving towards the chief. He was scared and said, You. Jinwoo continued to use the ruler's hand skill. He turned to look at the corpses of the students with even more hatred in his heart. Why? Why are you guys so obsessed with killing humans? Jinwoo's hand tightened even more. He had difficulty answering. The voice in my head. The voice they kept urging us to kill humans. So what about me? Did you hear the voice ordering to kill me? He quickly begged. Please spare my life. He tightened his grip even more, answering me. When you look at me, do you hear that voice? Please forgive me. Jinwoo slowly summoned the dagger as expected. I'm not a human in your thoughts as well. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'll forgive you. However, don't think that the process will be a painless one for you. And then in a flash, everything here will be quiet again. Inside the dungeon, the healer snatched the cloak from an ant. Oh my god, do you know how valuable this thing is? The vampire leather coat belongs to that particularly expensive demonic beast clan. She tried to pull it out but was accidentally injured by the ant. Beru stopped it and then healed her. The healer was also surprised at how a summoned animal could heal even better than her. The dungeon continued to open, and the Archlake appeared, holding a magic stone in front of his chest. A hunter looked scared. Oh my god, the boss here is Archlake. Sir, it's worse than fighting 10 Death Knights. Among the many bosses, the Archlake is famous for the Golden Dragon Guild's annihilation. One of China's top guilds was annihilated by the Archlake and caused a dungeon break. Thanks to Liu Jin, it didn't turn into a catastrophe, but it's impossible for any normal ranker to defeat it. Nim, what should we do? They were coming from behind. Park hurriedly shouted, Damn, the monsters that the ants haven't eaten yet have come back to life. Hurry up and block the door. The healer used the pure shield skill. The captain at this time had no plans at all and could only wait for the coming death. As expected, it would be impossible without Hunter Sung. The healer urgently shouted, "Sir, I can only last 5 minutes." The captain now angrily shouted, "Damn," but a black shadow appeared. Beru stood in front of them. The archdemon saw Beru and was also a little scared. "You are the army of darkness. Why did the king's army attack me?" Beru starts laughing. "We were chosen by the king and you weren't." He panicked. "There is no way I will go directly to ask the king." Without giving him too much time, Beru rushed in front of him and used his hand to dig something out of his chest. "I'm about to die, but I still talk a lot." Beru took out a magic stone from the arch-licked demon's body. It screamed in pain. "No, it's impossible." When the green light radiates, the demon gradually disappears. All the undead fell. Beru roared in celebration of victory. Park, standing here, was also amazed at its strength, but could never have thought it would be this strong. Yuntai said, "If they're this strong, Hunter Sung Jinwoo doesn't even need to enter the dungeon, and still clear it by just sending in his summons. A huge amount of magic energy would be exhausted for controlling these many summons, so he might not be able to use them all at the same time. But even if he uses just half as many summons as the ones here, his power is much stronger than any large guild in our country. Hang Nim, let's not waste more time and push ahead with merging our guild with Hunter Sung Jinwoo's guild." This guy really now referred to it as Alliance. Okay. Alliance. The new guild created by the best hunter and one of the 5 major guilds in the country, the Night Order, are pushing for an alliance. Doesn't that sound nice? Yuntai hesitated a bit. You really want to try your luck with that? Nim, do you really think that Hunter Sung Jinwoo needs our help? From what you saw today. Park was angry when he heard that. Hey, think about it. Do you think he can bend the law for guild activities just because of who he is? Yuntai was puzzled, even though he fought with the Dark Soldiers. If the minimum number of troops could not be guaranteed, the raid would definitely not be authorized. Meeting the number of troops is mandatory. You're also a hunter. How could you forget that? Yuntai also realized at this time. That's right. Hunter Sung's strength and our abundant human resources. A wonderful combination. That's right, haha. Yuntai continued. But if that's the case, wouldn't our guild benefit too much? Don't worry, Park's face was full of confidence. Line up. We just need to line up beautifully. Seen at the school, the rescue team and police are starting to help the injured students. Along with that are the bodies of the unfortunate students and an ill-fated mother running inside in panic as her child died. My son has not been seen yet. Despite being stopped, she still tried to run inside to find her ill-fated son. On the bus, President Go said that 213 students were lucky enough to escape the school from the beginning and were safe. 10 students were successfully rescued, while the other students who did not have time to escape all died. At this point, he was heartbroken and continued. In fact, this incident had been predicted in advance after recent months of incidents. The number of dungeons appearing in Seoul has increased dramatically. The same thing happens on a global scale. The number of dungeons appearing in the world is increasing exponentially. Not only that, the number of people coming to check the awakening status is also increasing significantly. And the number of magical beasts appearing in the dungeons has increased significantly. So the number of hunters appearing to stop it will also increase accordingly. That was the balance. Jinwoo looked a bit thoughtful, as if something was starting to change. He glanced at the president and said, "So, what do you really want to say to me?" Hearing that, he immediately replied, "Japan, the United States, China, Russia, France, England, Germany, even the Middle East, they have sent many requests to meet you. Hunter Sung. Maybe he's had some unorthodox encounters before." He sighed and continued, "Actually, the association has no right to prevent this. We are only allowed to protect information at the request of the hunter. Everything depends on your choice, Hunter Sung Jinwoo. But I have a feeling that if Hunter Sung leaves our country, it will be difficult to adapt to this change. Arrived, this is the hospital where your sister is lying. Hunter Sung Jinwoo, I will provide everything for you within my means. If I do so, will you stay?" The chairman's expression became worse and worse. He slapped his hand on the forehead of a total of 10 S-rank hunters. "We lost 3 of them. 2 were killed by drugs and 1 went to the United States. The association cannot afford to lose another S-class hunter. We will do our best." Tell me your choice. Jinwoo was silent for a while, then said he wanted to go into a high-level dungeon alone in the future. Will you break the rules for me? He was a bit surprised when he heard this. He'd asked Jinwoo if he wanted to destroy the rule on the minimum number of members when raiding. That's right, Mr. Go continued. The minimum number is regulated to ensure the safety of hunters. To avoid situations where hunters who do not know the sky is high and the earth is thick enter the dungeon alone and die there, if that law is removed then. Speaking of this, he realized something. He asked Jinwoo, "Did you establish the guild originally too?" Jinwoo nodded. "Yes, is that difficult?" "It's difficult, but not impossible. Just leave it to me." At the studio, the director said to a woman named Soo-hyun, "You have worked hard." She replied, "Yes, director, you too. This person is Jin-ho's sister. He is calling her, 'Hello sister, do you want to join my guild?' Instead of letting dad force me to be a promotional ambassador for his guild, wouldn't it be better for me to sign up for your guild and enjoy freedom?" She was a bit confused and asked again, "Guild? What are you talking about?" "By the way, Jinwoo has returned to Korea. Did you know?" He replied, "Of course I know what my older sister has to do. But the important thing right now is that I need another founding member." She replied, "Jinwoo, now you're telling me to join a guild that hasn't even been established yet. It's not like you were tricked by someone, right?" Laughter rang out from the phone. "Haha, if you knew who that person you were talking about, you would be surprised." At Jinwoo's office, Jinwoo brought his sister over. Jinwoo was a bit confused and asked again, "Is this the person you said is suitable?" Jinwoo continued to introduce, "Yu Soo-hyun, she's my cousin, but she has an A-level hunter certificate." She took off the mask and was surprised. "Wow, I saw Hunter Sung Jinwoo in real life. It's true that she's addicted to handsome guys. After all, she's a celebrity. Hunter Sung, you surprised me, especially when you disrupted Lee Min-sung's press conference." Jinwoo looked dissatisfied and turned to ask, "Soo-hyun, do you have to be so surprised?" No, Jinwoo was full of thoughts. D-rank Jinwoo, a rank relative. Does awakening have anything to do with bloodline? It's possible. My father is also a hunter, but Jinwoo asked Soo-hyun, did he hear everything clearly about Jinwoo? She replied, "Yes, I heard that our association is in need of another founding member, right?" Jinwoo clearly told her that if she joined this guild, she would have to regularly appear in the newspapers. "Is that okay?" She replied with a carefree expression, "Still better than combining with Yu Jin-sung." Hearing this, Jinwoo didn't know who that person was, so he asked again. Jinwoo explains that he is his biological brother. Hearing this, Jinwoo also realized that he was the person you said was bad-tempered, right? Soo-hyun also quipped, "He seems famous. Hey, can you take a photo with me? I want to post to Lotus." Somewhere a loud sound shouted, "What the hell is going on? Accept shadow soldiers as raid members. Why would they make such a ridiculous rule?" Hunter Sung Jinwoo had just established a guild when this rule appeared. If this is not bias, then what else is it? The Hunter Association, which is famous for its fairness, is now deliberately favoring him. Please explain. What is this story? Hearing that, the president did not deny. This is a privilege. I would like to ask everyone present here a question. If you had to send a raid team to the location of the dungeon explosion between sending 20 A-rank hunters and sending Hunter Sung Jinwoo alone, you would how to choose? Honorable member Nam Jun-wook, didn't you recently move to an apartment building near the Hunters Guild? Hearing his secret revealed, his brother's face turned so pale that he spat. Seeing that, the chairman continued, "Why did you move to a location where the cost of housing is several times more expensive than the one you were previously living in?" He hesitated and did not speak. The chairman said, "If you want to ensure your safety in the current situation, right? The masses are just like you. If they have money, everyone wants to move it to a safe area. Many guilds are trying to recruit Hunter Sung to join them. Should we let him leave Korea? Or do you want Hunter Sung to be like Wong Dong-soo, who left his hometown to come to America? I think it is an unquestionable privilege to dare to ask everyone when the Escade appears in this country who will be able to stand up and ensure your lives." Cha-hae in here saw Soo-hyun taking pictures with his boyfriend and blushed angrily. This time, he will be beaten by his lover. In a certain dungeon, Jinwoo shouted, Big brother, this is the first time I've seen a dungeon this big. Jinwoo stood there thinking. If he's shocked to see this gate, how would he have reacted if he saw the gate in Busan? Let's go. The press was constantly taking pictures. Someone in the group shouted, Hunter Song Jinwoo, look this way. Please tell us. How do you feel as Ah Jin Guild faces their first raid? Why did you decide on Ah Jin as your guild name? What is your relationship with the third founding member of your guild, Yu Suhan? Director Wu here called Jinwoo. He saw that he was a bit surprised. Director Wu Jin-chun, isn't my information supposed to be protected? In the future, you need to pay more attention to the posts on Lotus. Hearing the director say that, Jinwoo felt a bit shy. Just because a photo was posted, he became a star. Jinwoo promised he would be careful next time. Jinho here asks further, Big brother, you didn't call the mining team or the collection team. How could I do it alone? Jinwoo said that the shadow soldiers would be in charge of those things. The director took out the power meter and was also surprised. Oh my god, all the shadow soldiers are B-level or higher, far beyond the standards of attacking in a level dungeon. Those troublemakers called privilege are really stupid. He handed the meter back to the staff and announced that he had completed the test. But I was actually sent here by the chairman to monitor and protect Hunter Song's raid. Reading this, I feel like something is wrong. Just for today, can I accompany you as a member or a supervisor? Jinwoo turned and said that he was just afraid he wouldn't be able to stand it, but he was comfortable. After listening, the director was a bit confused. But just a moment later, his expression changed to an unsightly look. A class magical beast, Naga. The attack between the two armies was taking place very dramatically. The sounds of killing continued to ring out. Jinwoo's dark army's momentum was always in an overwhelming position. These demonic beasts were the type that scared even hunters skilled in combat and magic. Yet the soldiers of darkness were able to handle them with ease. His expression began to show fear and surprise, especially for this summon, which could perfectly use lightning magic. A type of magic that only mage-class hunters can use. Every time he swung his sword, those flashes appeared. Igris continued to kill in the presence of Director Wu. A level, it doesn't seem like it has gone beyond a level. If I fight it one-on-one, I'm not sure I can win. Jinwoo on the other side angrily kicked an ant away. Hey, I told you not to eat magical beasts. Do you know how expensive this is? As for those other guys, don't be lazy anymore. Go dig quickly and find more mana. The director thought to himself. Only one person can attack the dungeon, collect bodies, and mine minerals. It wouldn't be wrong to consider this a one-man army. He told Jinwoo. Now I understand why the chairman wanted me to come here. Jinwoo ordered the shadow soldiers, except those working, to all disperse. The director asked why did he disperse the dark soldiers at this moment. Just using summons is enough to deal with the boss. Jinwoo took out 2 daggers. If I rely too much on the shadow soldiers, I will lose the feeling of fighting. Jinwoo then started using the skill to launch above the Naga monster. Jinwoo's extremely fast speed gave it a big stab in the front in the director's surprise. The system rang, you have defeated the dungeon boss. 1 hit, just 1 hit to kill the boss. The level of your career-specific skills has increased, all skill levels increased. Thanks to that, the waiting time to swap balls is reduced by 1 hour. Each level is reduced by 1 hour. If I continue to level up, no matter where I am, if my mother and Jinha are in danger, they will still appear immediately. Naga's scales are strong enough like a solid and sturdy layer of protective armor, yet they are nothing more than a sack when he uses daggers to attack. Still surprised, Jinwoo stood aside and shouted, "Arise!" A dark shadow rose from inside the monster's corpse. Level 13, huh? Its strength is the same as when it was alive, but it looks much smaller. Normally, the dark soldiers usually maintain the same shape or get bigger, right? Even so, its magic power is quite strong. If we only talk about magic power, it is equivalent to Tusk. If it could use magic like Tusk, it could return to its original size. In short, I just got a very strong soldier. He named it Jima. From now on you are Jima. Jinho stood aside and smiled. So this is how Big Brother creates summons. Truly my big brother. Jinho saw the tremor gradually getting stronger, so he told Jinwoo to leave here. When they came out, everyone in the press was stunned. Quickly run away. No, isn't that Hunter Song's summon? Did he clear an raid dungeon? Why so fast? Okay. I want to take pictures again. Please look this way. More and more journalists are coming around them. The director's expression at this moment is extremely helpless. It seems like they are very concerned about our first raid. It doesn't have to be like that. Chairman Go now asked Director Woo if he had participated in the raid, right? It seemed like this raid was so special that even a veteran like him was confused about it.